It started as a coin you've probably slipped past 1,000 times as a broken bar, a small, unassuming quarter from 1983. Most people toss it in a jar, spend it at the store, or overlook it entirely. But what if I told you that buried in plain sight a broken bar in pocket change, in old collections, in grandma's dresser drawer, a broken bar could lie, a coin worth millions? Yes, a single 1983 quarter with a mysterious P mint mark, a coin that collectors are calling the $1 million find. Today, your life could change if you are willing to pay attention. Imagine for a moment walking into a coin shop with a handful of quarters, and walking out with enough money to retire, buy your dream home, help your family, a broken bar, live a life you once only dreamed about. That's the emotional pull, the fear of missing out, the excitement of discovery, the urgency of possibility. Stick with me because what you're about to hear will blow your mind. You're about to discover the hidden story behind the 1983 quarter broken bar, why it might be worth up to $2 million in today's market, a broken bar, and how many of these rare finds may already be right in your possession. But first, let's rewind. In the world of coin collecting, every detail matters: the year, the condition, the mint mark, the story behind the strike. Most quarters from 1983 were produced in Philadelphia. And here's the twist: Philadelphia coins that year did not carry a mint mark. So when collectors talk about a 1983 P quarter, they're talking about something that shouldn't exist, a mint mark where there shouldn't be one, a mistake, a rarity. Now, mistakes make some coins incredibly valuable, and that's where the potential fortune lies. But before we get into the astronomical value claims, understand this: the market only rewards the rarest, the most authenticated, the most unbelievable anomalies, and that's exactly what makes this story so captivating. Let's take a step into Act 2, the discovery. Think about the last time you searched through old piggy banks or coin jars. You probably found a few silver dimes, an old buffalo nickel, and maybe a coin you tossed into a drawer, thinking it was nothing special. But what if broken bar? Just what if one of those coins was the legendary 1983 P? What if you held a coin worth up to $2 million in your hand and didn't even know it? Here's where the fear sets in. Most people will never bother to check. They'll spend it, lose it, or trade it for gum at the checkout. The difference between wealth and waste can be a few seconds of attention. Now let me ask you a question. Have you ever wished you could travel back in time? Not to relive a memory, but to change a decision that would have made you rich. Maybe you threw away old collections, or sold them for pennies. Maybe you regret not checking every coin more carefully. That's human. But here's the exciting part: you don't need a time machine. The opportunity is here, right now, for you to look again. You might be wondering, is this for real? Are these coins actually selling for millions? In the rarest cases, yes. The value of any coin comes down to demand, condition, and rarity. A perfectly struck 1983 quarter with a mint mark, heir authenticated by professional grading services, in pristine condition, could command astonishing sums at auction. Now, let's break down how this happens. Every year, the U.S. Mint produces billions of coins, but occasionally, mistakes occur: wrong dies, misapplied mint marks, double strikes, alpha-center errors. Most of these errors are minor and don't affect value significantly, but every so often, once in a decade's error slips through quality control. The kind of error that keeps collectors awake at night, the kind that creates instant rarity. Here's the part that gets coin experts really excited: a 1983 quarter with a P mint mark shouldn't exist. Philadelphia coins that year were not supposed to carry a mint mark, yet a handful did, and those few went out into circulation. These coins are the proverbial needle in the haystack, extremely rare, extremely sought after. Imagine being the person who finds one. That adrenaline rush, the disbelief, the heart pounding. A broken bar. No, why a broken bar? This can't be real. A broken bar. Is this worth what people say it is? Before we go further, let's reset your expectations with a touch of humor, because if there's one thing collectors love, It's the irony of finding millions of dollars in coins that look like pocket change. Picture a millionaire sitting at a coin shop, hunched over a drawer of old quarters, whispering, "Come in a broken bar be the only a broken bar be the only a broken bar a," like a poker player hoping for a royal flush. Now let's get serious again. To understand the true value of a rare coin like this, we need to talk about grading. Coins are evaluated on a scale from 1 to 70 by professional services like PCGS and NGC. Only coins in the highest grades A flawless or near flawless A reach the premium values. An error coin in average condition might be worth a few $1,000s, but one in perfect, gem condition, that's where the millions come in. So how does this trigger urgency in you? Here's the real kicker. These rare error coins are out there a broken bar, but time is not on your side. Every day, someone spends them, someone trades them, someone throws them away. You have a limited window to check your old collections, your change jars, your stash of coins from years past. The clock is ticking, and once these coins disappear, they're gone. But there's more, a deeper, richer context. Some experts believe that only a handful of 1983 P mint mark quarters exist. We're talking a number so small, it's almost mythical. And when scarcity meets collector demand, values skyrocket. You see, collectors are hungry for uniqueness. They crave items that tell a story, that defy odds, that make history, and that drives prices up, up, up. Now let's pull back the curtain on the myth, because you might have heard skeptics say this is just internet hype. Yes, there are wild claims out there, but hear this. Legitimate error coins have sold for hundreds of thousands and even millions when they check every box: a condition, provenance, rarity, and authentication. The market doesn't lie. When serious collectors bid at serious auctions, a broken bar prices rise to reflect true rarity. But and this is important, not every 1983 quarter is worth millions. In fact, most aren't. So here's where your mission begins. You must know what to look for. You must inspect, assess, and if you find something unusual, get it authenticated by professionals. This is not a guessing game, this is real-world treasure hunting with real-world consequences. Let me ask you another question that might surprise you. How many times have you walked past a jar of coins and not even thought twice about what's inside? Most people don't realize that wealth can hide in the ordinary. That's the emotional hook, the fear of missing out on something life-changing because it was wrapped in everyday normalcy. Think about that. A coin you might accept as spare change could be worth more than your car, more than your retirement account, more than you thought possible. And that's exactly why this matters to you. Now, let's talk strategy. Don't just dump a jar of coins on the table and hope for the best. Here's how collectors approach it. They inspect every coin under good light. They look for anomalies, mint marks, misprints, strange strikes. They compare with reference images. They consult experts. They get potential treasures professionally graded. And then if it's the real deal, they hold or sell at auction for maximum return. This step-by-step approach separates the dreamers from the earners. And you could be one of the earners. Now before we reach the climax of this journey, let's address a hidden question most people are too afraid to ask. What if I don't find anything? What if you inspect every coin and come up empty? That's a realistic possibility. But here's the encouragement: you won't lose anything by looking. You'll only gain clarity. You'll only increase your knowledge. And if you do find something remarkably broken, your life could change forever. And that brings us to the final act, the moment of truth. Picture the scene. You've sorted through the coins. You pause on one. Something doesn't look right. Your heart races. You pull out a magnifying glass. You see a mint mark where it shouldn't be. Your breath catches. You take it to a professional, and with disbelief in their voice, a broken bar, they confirm, this is real. This is the part of the story where dreams become reality, where ordinary people become extraordinary, where a forgotten coin becomes a legacy for generations. And now a broken bar. I want you to imagine your name in that story, because it's not just a coin, it's possibility, it's hope, It's the realization that sometimes, the universe hides treasures in the most ordinary place as a broken bar waiting for someone who has the curiosity, the courage, and the will to look. So don't wait, don't delay, don't let another day go by without checking your old coins. Your $1,000,000 opportunity might be sitting in a drawer right now, a broken bar waiting to change everything. If you've ever dreamed of financial freedom, a broken bar. If you've ever wondered what if, now is your chance to find out. Check your coins, study them, learn what to look for, and who knows, a broken bar may be the next unbelievable discovery in coin collecting history. Will have your name on it. The moment of truth begins with a single step, and that step could be as simple as picking up a quarter. So go at a broken bar, look again. Imagine holding a piece of history in the palm of your hand, a small, unassuming coin that could quietly change your life forever. You glance at it, dismissing it as just another quarter from your pocket change. But this is no ordinary coin. This is the 1987 D-Mint Mark quarter, a coin whose story begins not in a bank or a collector's shop, but in the bustling mints of the United States, crafted with precision, yet destined for extraordinary fortune. Today, a single one of these coins can fetch a staggering $1.7 million in the collector's market. One coin, one life-altering opportunity. And yet, so many pass by it, unaware, or worse, unaware of the fortune slipping through their fingers. The story of this coin is a story of rarity, timing, and the unrelenting passage of history. In 1987, the Denver Mint produced millions of quarters, each stamped with the D-Mint mark, circulating freely in pockets and purses across the nation. But in that sea of ordinary coins, a handful were struck with a subtle difference, an anomaly that only the most discerning eyes, or the luckiest of hands, would ever recognize. It is this anomaly that separates the mundane from the extraordinary, the dime a dozen quarter from a fortune worth millions. Now, pause for a moment. Imagine reaching into a drawer, perhaps even while cleaning out old change, and pulling out a quarter that could fund your dreams, pay off debts, or secure generational wealth. That is the thrill, the heartbeat of what coin collectors crave, via the knowledge that something seemingly ordinary can hide unimaginable value. Most of us overlook such treasures, blinded by the sheer number of coins in circulation. But for those who know what to look for, the rewards are spectacular. And it all starts with understanding why this 1987 D-Mint Mark quarter is so rare. Unlike ordinary quarters, the 1987 D-Mint Mark quarter's exceptional value is not about gold, silver, or any fancy metal. It's about error and scarcity. A slight misstrike, a deviation in design, or a variation in the die can instantly transform a common coin into a collector's obsession. The Denver Mint, despite its rigorous quality control, occasionally produced coins with these subtle quirks. And that, my friend, is where the magic and the money lies. It's almost poetic. Imperfection becomes perfection when the world realizes it holds the key to millions. But let's be honest for a second. You might be thinking, sure, that's exciting, but what are the chances I actually find one? And that's the beauty of this story. While millions of these quarters were minted, only a tiny fraction bear the telltale signs that make them worth millions. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, but imagine if that needle could change everything. And here's a little secret: sometimes, the haystack is closer than you think. It might be in your wallet, your old coin jar, or forgotten drawers collecting dust in your attic. How often do you check there? Honestly, a broken bar probably not enough. Let's rewind a bit and set the stage. The late 1980s in the United States were a time of economic optimism, cultural vibrancy, and subtle shifts in the financial landscape. Coins were not just currency, they were a reflection of a nation's history and identity. Each quarter carried with it the artistry of its designers, the precision of the mint, and the pulse of the American economy. Among these, the 1987 D-Mint Mark quarter was ordinary in appearance, obviously, but extraordinary in potential. It was a quiet participant in daily life, changing hands thousands of times, often overlooked at cash registers, yet unknowingly preparing to become a superstar in the numismatic world. Now, let's talk specifics. What makes this coin a multi-million-dollar treasure? It's the aura, subtle, nuanced, and almost invisible to the untrained eye. Collectors refer to these as die errors or minting anomalies. In the case of the 1987 D quarter, a rare misalignment or double striking can occur, leaving a unique imprint that transforms an everyday quarter into a highly coveted collectible. Think of it as nature's lottery, except the jackpot is a piece of metal smaller than your thumb, capable of delivering wealth beyond imagination. But here's where most people make a fatal mistake. They underestimate the market, the passion, and the urgency that comes with rare coins. You see, coins like the 1987 D Mint Mark quarter are not just valuable because of rarity, they are valuable because of demand. The collector community is vast, sophisticated, and relentless. When news of a rare coin surfaces, bidding wars erupt, sometimes in the blink of an eye. Auction houses report sales that leave ordinary people speechless. A one coin here, $1.7 million there. The question then becomes, are you going to let opportunity slip by, or are you going to act? I know what you're thinking again. Okay, but what if I find one? How do I know it's genuine? How do I sell it? These are legitimate fears, and the truth is, caution is your friend but hesitation can be your enemy. Authentication is critical. Professional grading services scrutinize coins for authenticity, condition, and market value. A coin certified as genuine and flawless can command astronomical prices, while an uncertified one risks being overlooked or undervalued. This is where education and action intersect. Knowing the signs of authenticity can turn a casual discovery into a life-changing event. Now, here's a little humor to keep your brain awake. Imagine showing up at a coin auction wearing your pajamas, holding a paper bag of coins, and casually whispering, "I think one of these is worth $1 million." That's not the plot of a movie, it's a reality some collectors have lived, and it's thrilling, it's nerve-wracking, and it's exactly why this story captures the imagination of millions. You might even chuckle at the absurdity, but beneath the humor lies a lesson. Fortunes often come disguised as ordinary objects, and recognizing them requires both knowledge and courage. As we transition now, consider this: the emotional journey of discovering a 1987 D Mint Mark quarter mirrors the journey of life itself. There is uncertainty, curiosity, hope, and the adrenaline rush of potential. Every coin has a story, every anomaly a secret, and every auction a climax. You can almost hear the coins whispering, "Find me, I'm worth more than you can imagine." And that whisper is irresistible to those who understand the stakes. Fear, excitement, urgency, these are the triggers that drive collectors, investors, and ordinary people to extraordinary outcomes. Because make no mistake, missing out on a coin like this can feel like watching history pass you by while someone else steps into wealth and prestige. And yet, the thrill lies not just in possession, but in the hunt. Each trip to the attic, each sifting through change, each careful inspection of a drawer full of coins is a step closer to destiny. Let's take a moment to imagine the impact. You've discovered a 1987 D Mint Mark quarter. It's authentic, it's rare, and it's yours. Suddenly, $1.7 million is not just a number, it's freedom, possibility, and transformation. Pay off debts, invest in dreams, create opportunities for family, secure a legacy. The coin becomes more than metal, it becomes the key to a lifestyle many can only imagine. And the best part? This opportunity doesn't require a lifetime of labor or a Wall Street fortune. It requires awareness, action, and a willingness to look beyond the ordinary. Now, here's the cliffhanger you've been waiting for. What if I told you that right now, at this very moment, there could be 1987 D Mint Mark quarters hidden in homes across the country, unclaimed, unappreciated, yet waiting to unlock unimaginable wealth? Will you find one? Will it be in your possession? or will someone else beat you to it? The suspense is real, and it's exhilarating. But before we close, remember this: the world of rare coins is not just about money. It's about history, legacy, and the thrill of discovery. Each coin is a tangible piece of our collective past, a story frozen in metal, waiting for someone with vision and courage to recognize its true worth. The 1987 D Mint Mark quarter is more than a coin, it's a testament to opportunity, a symbol of what can happen when preparation meets chance. So, the next time you empty your pocket change, dig through that jar on the counter, or browse through old family collections, pause, examine, consider. One coin could change everything. And if it's the 1987 D Mint Mark quarter, you won't just hold a piece of metal, you'll hold the power to transform your life, perhaps forever. Because in the end, fortune favors the curious, the bold, and the vigilant. The question is simple: will you be the one to uncover the $1.7 million coin quietly waiting for its next story, or will it slip through your fingers, leaving you to wonder what might have been? Time is ticking, and history waits for no one. Coins so rare, so meticulously preserved, that collectors and investors alike would stop at nothing to own it. Today, we're not talking about just any coin. We're diving into the story of the 1995 D Mint Mark quarter dollar, a coin that could be worth over $1 million in the right hands. Yes, you heard that right, a broken bar, $1 million. And no, it's not a typo, and it's not some overhyped internet scam. This is real, tangible, American wealth waiting quietly in attics, drawers, and coin collections across the country. You might be thinking, a quarter? Come on, I use those to feed parking meters. But pause for a moment. That simple quarter you toss casually into your change jar could very well be a ticket to unimaginable fortune. And here's the kicker: it all comes down to rarity, provenance, and the whisper of history captured in its design. Now, before you roll your eyes and scroll away, consider this: hundreds of these quarters were minted, yes, but almost none survived the years without subtle flaws, microscopic errors, or signs of circulation. The few that did, they became legends. The 1995 D Mint Mark quarter wasn't meant to be extraordinary. It was minted in Denver, like millions of others, for everyday commerce. But life has a funny way of creating value in the most mundane places. Imagine a batch of quarters, rolling off the press, one after another, then a single, tiny misalignment, an imperfection in the die, a mint mark so subtly misplaced that the world at large would never notice, except collectors did. And that, my friend, is how ordinary coins transform into extraordinary wealth. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Most people think rarity alone dictates value, but in numismatics, it's also about condition. The 1995 D quarter, in uncirculated, pristine condition, gripped by history yet untouched by the wear of hands, it can fetch prices that defy logic. We're talking over $1.3 million. Let that sink in. A coin you could have overlooked in your father's drawer is now worth more than many people's lifetime earnings. And that's not an exaggeration. But let me ask you a question: a broken bar, would you recognize it if it was sitting right in front of you? Could you spot a coin worth over $1 million amidst a pile of dimes and nickels? Most wouldn't, and that's exactly why so many fortunes remain hidden in plain sight. People toss them into collections, or, worse, forget they exist. Meanwhile, savvy collectors and investors, armed with knowledge and a keen eye, are quietly building empires from these forgotten treasures. This coin's journey from a humble Denver press to a millionaire's display case is a story in itself. First, it was minted with precision, designed to circulate freely, to become a part of daily life. But then, through the years, most were spent, lost, or damaged. The survivors, they became rarities, whispers of an era, the kind of artifact that commands attention, respect, and, yes, enormous value. And here's the suspenseful part: every single 1995 D quarter out there is slightly different. A tiny scratch, a minute die crack, even a slight misalignment could make one worth thousands, tens of thousands, or in the rarest cases a broken bar millions. Humor me for a second. Think of it like a treasure hunt where the map is invisible, and the clues are microscopic. Most people pass by the gold without ever noticing it. But for those willing to dig, to learn, to examine every coin with an eagle eye, the rewards are life-changing. And that's where fear meets excitement. Fear, because you might already own one and not realize it. Excitement, because the potential is immense. People have stumbled upon their fortunes in the most mundane places, hidden in old jars, forgotten boxes, even in the bottom of drawers. A 1995 D quarter in exceptional condition could be sitting quietly, right under your nose, waiting for the moment to reveal its true value. Now, let's shift gears for a moment. Why exactly is this coin worth millions, while others from the same year barely fetch a few dollars? The answer lies in a complex stance of scarcity, historical significance, and condition grading. Experts meticulously examine each coin, measuring luster, strike quality, and imperfections that the untrained eye would miss. Think of it like art collecting. A one brush stroke or tiny imperfection can change the value by orders of magnitude. And yes, the market is competitive. There are serious collectors out there who travel across states, hunt at estate sales, and scan online auctions for hours on end, all for the chance to own a coin like this. Some of these quarters have been sold in private auctions for staggering sums, their provenance documented with meticulous care. Imagine the tension in a room full of bidders, each realizing that one single coin could reshape their entire collection and possibly their life. But here's a pattern interrupt for you. If you think that all this talk of wealth, history, and auctions sounds dry, imagine one of these quarters could pay off your mortgage, buy a vacation home, or even fund your child's education, all in one swoop. And yet, it's still just a quarter. Isn't that wild? One tiny, overlooked piece of metal holding the power to transform lives. The story deepens when you consider timing. The numismatic market isn't static. Trends, historical awareness, and collector demand shift constantly. Coins that were modestly valuable a decade ago can skyrocket in price today. And the 1995 D quarter is a perfect example. Awareness of its rarity and condition has grown steadily, with collectors recognizing that the window to acquire one before prices soar is closing fast. In other words, hesitation could cost you millions. So, what does this mean for you? If you own a 1995 D quarter in top condition, you're holding a literal treasure. If it's been tucked away, unnoticed, this is your wake-up call. Examine your collection, your old jars, your attic boxes. One coin could change everything. And even if you don't find one, learning to recognize and preserve rare coins could be the key to building wealth in the years ahead. Now, we're approaching the climax of the part that makes hearts race. Imagine receiving an appraisal. The expert lifts your 1995 D quarter, inspects it under intense magnification, and pauses. Your palms sweat. You hear that number whispered, $1.3 million. In that instant, your understanding of everyday life shifts. A quarter you treated as trivial suddenly represents legacy, opportunity, and freedom. And you realize that history has a way of rewarding those who pay attention. And just when you think the story has ended, here's the final cliffhanger. Not all 1995 D quarters are created equal. Some are almost impossibly rare, and the market for them is fierce. Prices fluctuate, trends emerge, and the next discovery could be the coin that sets a new record. Will it be yours, or will it slip through your fingers, lost to someone who knows where to look? The suspense is part of the thrill. In the end, the 1995 D mint mark quarter dollar isn't just a coin, it's a story, a puzzle, a symbol of opportunity hidden in plain sight. It's fear and excitement, laughter and disbelief, all rolled into a tiny piece of metal that can change a life. The lesson is clear. Wealth often hides in the most ordinary places. All it takes is knowledge, curiosity, and a little courage to see it. So the next time you shuffle through coins, pause for a moment, look closely. You may be holding more than change. You may be holding a fortune, a fragment of history, and a chance at a life you've only dreamed of. Because the 1995 quarter dollar proves one undeniable truth: sometimes, the most extraordinary treasures are hiding in plain sight. And if you find only a broken bar, well, your life may never be the same again.